Your Randonneur rack has arrived. Let's open it up, make sure everything's in there, and get it set up properly on your bicycle. Along with the rack, you should find the following parts already mounted to it: a long aluminum backplate and the adapter for wider seat rails. Now locate inside the package one short aluminum backplate for narrower width seat rails, one pair of extenders, 4 M6 by 12 bolts, and 4 M6 lock nuts for installing extenders. The first thing to check is if you have the minimum clearance of 4 inches between the seat tube and the bottom of the seat rails. This is what's required if you're going to be able to use the Randonneur rack. Now look at your seat rails and establish the proper adapter and backplate for this seat. To determine which size backplate to use, start at the horizontal part of the seat rail. Move 1/4 of an inch above the top of the horizontal rail. Now draw an imaginary line between the rails. This is where you will take the measurement. If the seat rails are less than 2 1/4 inches apart, use the short aluminum backplate without the adapter. If the seat rails are more than 2 1/4 inches apart, use the long aluminum backplate with the adapter. If you have a longer seat post, you may want to use extenders to lower the rack profile on the bike. They're included in this package. You'll need a minimum clearance of 7 inches between the seat tube and the bottom of the seat rails to use these extenders. To install the extenders, remove the bracket with a quick release by undoing the 2 side bolts using a 4mm hex key. Set the quick release bracket, bolts, and lock washers aside for reinstallation later. Install the 2 extenders on the rack by aligning the 2 bottom holes with the 4 M6 by 12 bolts and lock nuts included in the package. Now you're ready to reinstall the quick release bracket with the bolts and lock washers you set aside earlier. Now it's time to attach the rack properly to your bike. The seat rail brackets attach by pivoting the rack in place with a quick release backplate fitted behind the seat rails. Lightly tighten the quick release mechanism to hold the bracket in place while making adjustments. Engage the rubberized seat post bracket onto the seat post. Now you'll have to adjust the level of the rack. Using a 5mm hex key, loosen the bolt that connects the 2 channels, enabling them to slide. This will allow you to move the platform along the channel until it's horizontal to the ground. Then retighten the connector bolt. Once the rack is level, you can adjust the quick release tension by turning the lever 1/2 turn at a time. Make sure it's secured in place, but do not over tighten. The last step is to tighten the rubberized seat post bracket with the velcro strap. Now you're ready to ride.